We'd like to share with you on this week's Parshas for Rabbi Yitzchok, the Rebbe's father, Parshas Mishpatim. Beginning of this week's Parshas, we have the din of Eved Ivri, that 6 years he works, he could be a slave. ובשביעית, in the 7th year, he goes out לחפשי חינם, he goes out for free without any payment. Now the word לחפשי, he goes out for free, the Targum writes, לחפשי means lebar חורין. Lebar חורין is similar how we would say it in Hebrew. That's the Targum U'nkeles, Aramaic, but the Hebrew would be ben Khourin, a free man. So asks Rabbi Yitzchok, what's the meaning first of Khourim, Loshen Rabim? That there's a multiple freedoms over here. What's the meaning of this Loshen Rabim, Khourim? And also, what does it mean, ben Khourim? Usually ben means son. He's a free man, but that's the interpretation. But what does it mean literally? Ben, the son of Khourim. Explains Rabbi Yitzchok, what he brings down from Zohar, and it's explained in great detail in Chassidus, that an Eved, a slave, literally means he's stripped from intellect and understanding. Lahalacha, he's like a koton, which means that now he surrenders. He can't think on his own. He has to just follow the orders of his master, of his odoin. And it's as if he has no brains, no intellect. He can't think on his own what to do. Everything is being told by him, and he has to accept the yoke and follow directions exactly from his master. And that's why he's part of a mitzvah. He's like a cotton. When he's freed, in Hasidic and in Kabbalistic language, it's called, he receives also moichin. He becomes a free man also to think on his own. And it's similar, the Rebbe's father explains, when the Yidden came out of Mitzrayim, they didn't have any das, they had no knowledge, no intellect. When they came out, they got the Torah, and they got what's called moich. So, Rabbi Yitzchok explains now, if you look in the process of how the intellectual powers of a person works, like the Rebbe says in Tanya Perek Gimel, there are basically 3 steps. We have what's called the Av Ve'em, the father and the mother of the powers of the intellect, which is also Chochma and Bina. Chochma is the essence of the concept. And then a person takes the seminal point and he elucidates and wants to understand all the details, all its ramifications, and that's Bina. Similar when a child is born, the Rebbe explains, we have in the beginning of the 9 months the actual seed, and then with time of the 9 months, which is through the mother, the Bina, then it comes out in all its details, all its organs, so many parts of the body, and that is the part that the mother basically accomplishes. So in the process of intellect is the same way. You have the essence of the idea, and then which is chokhmah, the wisdom, and then you have the details, and that is the bina. And that's the process of understanding something. But then the Rabbi Yitzchok says that's not enough. You have to have the next component, the next ingredient, which is das. Das means a person should bond with it. A person should internalize it, should unify himself with it. You could understand something and it doesn't affect you. So when a person draws down the understanding, the Chochmah and Bina, and he gives birth to, he connects it to himself, then, as Dr. Rebbe explains, it will give birth to what's called the Midos, Chesed, and Gevura. And I'm going to give a simple example. Let's say you take the concept of Pesach, and a person learns the halachas in Gemara. He learns the whole subjects, all the dinim of the Seder and Chometz and Matzah, etc. And then he also learns how it's explained the Chassidus, the esoteric part, the Pnimius, the reasons of the mitzvahs. Automatically, once he gets all the information in his intellect. He has the Chochmah Bina, and also he thinks it over again and again, and he internalizes it. Now, the Rebbe says, and this we see also in a fact of how it works, it will give birth now to two parts, Chesed and Gvura. In the simple terms, when a person will learn everything about Pesach, it will give him a tremendous motivation to eat matzah, to keep the Seder, to celebrate the Yom Tov Yetzias Mitzrayim the way you're supposed to. That's the positive, the Chesed. It'll draw him closer to Hashem to do the positive mitzvahs. At the same token, he will have yira, awe. He won't even want to look at chametz. He'll want to separate himself from chametz because he knows that will transgress, and he won't want to do something that the Eibishter prohibited. So automatically, when you have das, you really bring it down to yourself, even in your mind. It will branch off to two parts. One part will be Chesed, Ava, it'll bring you closer to do it, and also Gvura, it'll give you also the Yira, the awe, not to Chas v'Shalom to transgress. Says the Rabbi Yitzchok, this is the meaning when you become a Ben Chorim, as in the U'nkeles Bar Chorin. Chorim Lashon Rabbi means you become free now. You're going to have, first of all, these two parts, Chochmah and Bina. You'll be able to have the wisdom and be able to have the understanding. And then those two parts will give birth to what? You'll be able to have to bond with it. That is the third component, which is considered like a ben, a son, which is an outcome and an offshoot, so to say, from your Chochmah and Bina. So this is the meaning when a person becomes free. The Rebbe's father explains, you get Chabad, the Chochmah Bina, that's the Chorim, and then you get the das, which is the ben. And the Rebbe's father brings down from Zoya, the word actually Bina, understanding, means ben, Yud K, the letters of ben, which means that from your understanding, it'll give birth to a ben. And with this, Rabbi Yitzchok, he connects the wording together. As his style, it also fits in the gematria. The U'nkeles says, Lachofshi means bar chorin, means the Chabad, as we explained. Chochmah Bina, and then the das, divides into two, the Chesed and the Gvura, the Yira and Ava, the doing, and the awe of not, God forbid, transgressing. So said Rabbi Yitzchok, if you take the word Lachopshi adds up to 428. And that's also exactly the gematria of Chochmah, Bina, Chesed, Gevura. Chochmah is 73, Bina 67, Chesed 72, Gevura 216. Added up together, you get to 428, exactly the gematria Lachopshi. So the gematria of Chopshi and also the meaning of how the U'nkeles explains it, Bar Chorin, you become a person of freedom. That when a person goes out as a slave, he gets moichin. You become to be your own person and an independent thinker, and you devote your mind, your chochmah bina das to Hashem, and also Yidden when they came out of Mitzrayim, the same idea that now they'll be able to serve Hashem and use their intellect, their Chabad, for the purpose of Hashem, to serving Hashem through mitzvahs and through intellect. A good Shabbos.